Hello everyone, this would be my first YouTube video I've posted with anything bass or guitar related, but for a while now I have been wanting to add one of these little Fender Thumrests to my bass. It's just this simple little plastic piece, 2 holes in it, and it seems pretty simple enough. You drill a couple of holes and this should go on here somewhere. They do give you a piece of paper that you can cut out in the shape of your pickguard, and there's instructions right here. It gives you a dotted line for the P bass. It gives you a solid line for the jazz bass. Now I've cut it out. Not the best at cutting, but I managed. It did help to actually use my X-Acto knife and a little cutting pad here. And now that I have this all cut out, what I can do is lay it down on the template. Now if things are looking a little bit backwards, do not adjust your screen. I'm left-handed. This is a lefty bass, and I know that a lot of you right-handed people freak out about everything left-handed. You start screaming about it being upside down and backwards, and why can't you just play with your right hand? Well, you know, side note to that, if you've ever wondered what it's like to be left-handed and attempt to play right-handed, try brushing your teeth tonight with your other hand. You're right-handed, you brush with your right hand, try brushing with your left, see how far you get, then come back and tell me I should switch. So anyway, the template goes over the pickguard pretty nicely. And the reason why I'm posting this video is it seems simple enough, but I have enough questions that I really would have liked a bit more information on. Now, flipping it back to the right side, it says there's existing pickguard mounting screw holes, and they were solid for the jazz bass and clear for the precision bass. I actually have a hole punch, and I punched out the holes. So if we flip it back over, the problem is they don't really match up. It says there should be an existing screw hole here, but when you flip it over, no, it's up there. So I don't know. I bought this bass in 2005, I believe. This is the Fender FSR, Fender Special Run, ash body. I've seen them for sale in Guitar Center and Musician's Friend. I think it's a exclusive Guitar Center, Musician's Friend product. I'm not really sure. But here we are, and what I'm left with is trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be screwing the hole. So if I'm missing something, you know, if there's something that I just can't understand, let me know. But I think we should be okay. It doesn't really matter. The only thing that concerns me is when I put this over, I don't want it to come over top either of these holes. So it's going to have to either go like this, or maybe even on top of one of the holes, or maybe even both of the holes, you know, but that's kind of what I'm working with. So what I'm getting ready to do now is fire up the drill, and we're going to have to do some drilling because I want this on there. And I'm tired of putting my thumb on the top of the pickguard here. Okay, so I have now taken off the screws to the pickguard, and look at this. You know, this lifts right out. I'm surprised. I actually thought that the pickup was connected to the pickguard, but no, that is pretty solidly connected onto the body. So I'm going to clean up. I'm not that happy after taking out the screws, all the dust that's coming out. I hope that the holes aren't being, you know, unthreaded just by me unscrewing the screws. But again, they've been in there nice and tight for about 10 years. Also just want to point out something that I'm a little less than happy about, Fender. This is a Mexican-made model. This is upside down, but yeah, this is just the Mexican-made version. Not really good fit and finish right there. If you look, I really wish this kind of lined up better with this, but I don't know if we can undo these screws and then get it any tighter. I think it's just kind of, you know, it's just kind of the way it is. Also, if there's anyone watching who knows about this, can anyone tell me what that little hole is for? Why would they bother using a tool of some sort? I don't know, what is that, a Dremel or something like that, to get in there? It's a little weird. And you know what, if that weren't enough, now that I'm looking at the guts of my axe right here, See that little hole up above the right hand screw? Man, is that annoying. So it's like they missed. It's like they put a screw in the wrong place, and now they're just up, well, and just put in another one. So they must have been having kind of an off day down at the factory. That extra hole above the right hand screw on the top. And then I notice this guy right here, well, if I want to adjust the height or the pickup, that won't be so easy because that screw is stripped on the left. You see that? Man, so that's going to be a real bear to get off. But nonetheless, I'm wiping this down. Just use an old piece of absorbent cloth to give it a good wipe down before I put the pick guard back on. If I felt like putting on a black pick guard or one of those tortoise shell pick guards, now would be a good time because that's just a simple bolt on. I didn't know it was that easy. But this brings me back to the question of, so where do the holes go? So if I use my template, it fits very nicely over the pick guard. It didn't fit as nicely around here, which is why I kind of had some trouble. But according to this, that's where the holes go. And if we, again, put this almost on top of it, you know, I followed their line, but it doesn't really seem to match up with my axe here. It kind of comes over a bit. I don't know. I have the FSR 2005. Maybe this is for a slightly larger, older size or something. Maybe they screwed up when they cut my pick guard. I don't know. But again, it's saying on there should be an existing hole, and there is not. So the holes on my pick guard do not correspond with those. So hopefully if I drill my holes in those places, everything's going to work out. Okay, so we now have the two holes that I drilled into the pick guard. And now all we have to do is drill the holes in the body. And one trick that you should be aware of, they said to use a 5/32 of an inch drill bit for the holes in the pick guard. But for the holes to go into the body of the guitar itself, they said just a 3/32 of an inch. And there you have it. I have it on there. Sort of wishing it didn't come over the pick guard like that. Sort of wish it was angled a little bit more, but I did overcompensate and moved it a little more in this direction because I didn't want it to have to be over that screw. Doesn't matter. I have larger than average hands, so if it's a little bit more room for my fingers to travel while I'm playing, that's fine. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was something I have wanted to do for a long time, and I just couldn't figure out why there weren't other people posting videos of how to install the Thumbrest. I believe I'm the only one in all of YouTube. So feel free to leave some comments if you have questions for me as to how I did this or what the process was or anything else. Please feel free to ask. I would be happy to help. I certainly love looking at other people's videos they post with tips on how to modify your guitar or get better playing technique or how to play a certain song or whatever. So I'd love to help out. Thanks.